Hey y'all, welcome to the Crafty Cove, or welcome back if you're returning. Y'all know how we like to do it here. We like to do farmhouse decor on a Dollar Tree budget. If you're not already subscribed, I would be honored if you would subscribe to my channel. Today's the 5th, and that means one thing. It's 5 Under 5 day. We're going to talk about that in just a little while, but we're going to get right into it with DIY number 1. I bought nothing new for these DIYs. I used everything in my stash. So I have this old plate, not exactly sure where it came from, but I've had it in my stash for a while. So I'm going to use it and one of the Dollar Tree galvanized chickens. I'm just going to go ahead and fill those holes in on the chicken, and then we are just going to glue it right to our plate. Just using Gorilla Hot Glue, just putting it all over where I think it's going to need so that it can be pretty sturdy, and it is it will not come off there. I tried to rip it off earlier and it would not come off. Next, we're going to take one of these words from the Dollar Tree that came out in the fall. I debated between grateful and blessed, but I loved how the grateful looks, so that's the one we're going to use. We're just going to glue that right in front of the chicken, or right in the front part of the chicken. Then just try and clear up any hot glue strings from there. Now I'm going to take some chicken wire. I think this came from the Dollar Tree when they were selling chicken wire. It's the chicken wire ribbon, and I've had it in my stash forever and just found it when I cleaned my craft room. So I'm going to take 2 pieces of this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap them and then wrap them around the plate here. And I'm just getting it as tight as I can. And then we're going to go ahead and flip the plate over and use tons and tons of hot glue on this, just to make sure that it is good and secure. So I do this one side, and then I do the other side, and then I just let it sit and let it dry. Forgive me if I'm out of breath on this video. I am suffering with another bout of low iron, so it just comes with the territory. After we get that good and dry, we're going to flip this over and use some eggs that I had also in my stash. And I'm just going to glue 2 underneath the chicken wire. And then I'll glue 2 more on top of the chicken wire, 1 on each side of the plate of the other 2 eggs. I love how this turned out. This turned out to actually be one of my favorite DIYs in this entire video, and so simple. Definitely under $5 because everything I had was in my stash. Now I'm just going to take a cotton pod this was the last cotton pod on this piece from the Dollar Tree that I had. I've been using them lately, and some greenery that I have, and I'm just going to make like a little swag up at the top with the greenery, and then stick my cotton pod right in the middle, and that's it. Y'all know that I'm totally farmhouse, and I love the farm animals, and I think this turned out exactly the way I wanted it and perfectly for my kitchen. So y'all know it's 5 Under 5 day, and every month my friend Emily and I host a 5 Under 5 DIY challenge. This month it is all about Dollar Tree decor. We make 5 DIYs. Each DIY needs to be under $5, and this month again we're just using some Dollar Tree products. Emily is an amazing creator. I have absolutely loved working with her since we started this challenge, and she never ceases to amaze me. The things she does is absolutely amazing, and I'm so in love with everything she does. Also, we also pick a guest host every single month, and this month we are honored to have AnnaLee Ashby from AnnaLee Ashby DIYs, and we are so honored to have her. She is so talented. I love everything that AnnaLee does. I am a super fan of AnnaLee's, and I love to watch her videos and just get new ideas for different things to make. So I just wanted to show you all these 2 amazing ladies and just give a big shout out to them. Emily does so much work for this challenge every single month, and I appreciate her so much, and I'm so excited to have AnnaLee as our guest host. Don't forget, there's also going to be a playlist in my description box below, and there are always so many talented crafters in this playlist, so make sure you go check that out when you're finished here. Okay, we're going to move right along. DIY number 2. So we're going to go ahead and take 2 more of those galvanized animals. Y'all, I have so many of these. And we're using the cows this time, and I'm going to do 2 good coats on both front and back of each cow. Then I'm going to take this little stencil, whatever it is, brush, and I'm going to just make some cow marks on here just to make it look like a black and white cow. This was the easiest way that I found to do this. It's not perfect, but y'all know me, I'm never perfect. So I'm just showing you again, this is the other one of the other cows, and I do that on both sides of those cows. Now we're going to take 2 of these trays, and we are going to paint the entire tray, both of these entire trays, except for that middle piece right there. We're going to cover that up, so I'm not even worried about getting paint on there. But we're going to paint both of them, fronts, backs, sides, tops, bottoms, everywhere except that little piece in the middle there. After we get both of those finished, we are then, I apparently did not show you, I covered the middle with some buffalo check vinyl from the Dollar Tree. Then I just painted up a Farm Fresh die cut from the Dollar Tree, and now we're just going to put our piece together. I'm just going to attach the cows to the bottom tray just with some hot glue, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a little bead of hot glue, a little line of hot glue down the side, or down the back of the cow, down the top of the cow, and put the second tray right on top. I hope that makes sense. Then we're going to reinforce. I turn it over and I reinforce with some more hot glue. And then I go ahead and take a smaller popsicle stick and glue one of those just to reinforce a little more. And y'all, this is so sturdy. I promise you, it is not going anywhere. After we get that finished, I'm just touching up some paint that kind of scuffed up a little bit when I turned it over. We're going to add our Farm Fresh sign right to the front of one of the trays. I did put on some bows, a bow on each of the cows, but I love how this turned out, so cute, and I just decided to decorate it up with a little milk cans and a little sign that says blessed. I hope y'all enjoyed this one, and I hope that wasn't too bad of a tutorial on how I did that. DIY number 3. For this one, we're taking 2 of the round signs from the Dollar Tree. Now, I just happen to have Valentine ones, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to try and get off as much of that glitter as I can. Then what we're going to do, on one of them, we're going to cover this top part of the sign with some buffalo check vinyl from the Dollar Tree. We're not worrying about the bottom part of that sign. We're not even touching the back part. On the next sign, we're going to cover the front part of the sign up with more buffalo check vinyl from the Dollar Tree and cut the excess off. Then we're going to go ahead and paint this side with 1 coat of black chalk paint. That's all you need is 1 coat. Next, on the sign that has just the buffalo check, we're going to take a string of these beads from the Dollar Tree, and we're just going to start gluing these beads all the way around our circle, our round sign here. We're going to make a riser, and I wanted beads in between the 2 signs, but this was the easiest way I could find instead of taking each individual bead off, and I wanted to leave them the natural color, so this worked perfectly. Then we're going to take hot glue and put it all around the beads and put our other piece right on top. Now we're going to decorate this up a little bit with an old calendar page from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to Mod Podge this on right on the top where it's black. I do this in sections just so I can try my very best to get all the wrinkles out. You all know I'm not great at Mod Podging, but I love the look of it. I think it turns out really, really cute. And the thing about this is you do not have to use, I love the farm animals, but y'all don't have to use farm animals. You don't have to use black and white check. I'm just giving you ideas on what you can do. You can use any material, any vinyl, any picture, anything like that that would go with your home, but this is just what goes with my home. Next, we're going to flip this over and cut off all of the excess of this calendar. And then we're going to put 1 good coat of Mod Podge over the top of this also, because this is very thin paper. Now we're going to take 4 of these wooden dice from the Dollar Tree and paint them, all 4 of them, all sides of them. These are going to become the legs to our pedestal. Now we're just going to glue those right on where they go, and that's it. This was a super simple DIY, but I love the look of it, and I like the fact of the beads being in there, and like I said, that was the easiest way to do that for me. So here you are with a side view, and this is what it looks like if you wanted to prop it up somewhere. Goes perfect in my farmhouse kitchen. Okay, we're going to move right on to DIY number 4, which is another super simple Mod Podge idea. I'm taking 2 of the bottle caps from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to use another of the Dollar Tree calendars, and this is the God Bless This Farm one. Again, I love the farm animals, so that's what I'm using. I picked out a cow and a chicken to use, and I just lay my bottle cap down on top of that, trace around it, and then cut out that image. There I am doing the cow, and then we're going to do the chicken in just a minute, but then I just go ahead and Mod Podge that on there. Y'all know I get way crazy with Mod Podge, so less is more here. If I didn't have as much Mod Podge on there, it would not have wrinkled and bubbled as much as it did, but it still turned out okay for me. Now I'm just smoothing out some more of those bubbles, as many of them as I can get out, and now we're going to do the chicken. Again, use any picture, any color, any frame, anything that you want to use, and make this your own for your home. So now we're just going to Mod Podge down that chicken the exact same way. Not as much Mod Podge on this one though. After that, we are going to go ahead and Mod Podge over top of both of these because they are going to be in my kitchen. I'm going to end up using these as magnets. I didn't show you all, but I'm going to put magnets on the back of these and put these up on my refrigerator. You could hang them, you could do whatever you wanted with them. After that, I'm going to go through and just cut off all that excess with my craft knife. I made 2 little bows out of buffalo check ribbon from the Dollar Tree, 2 little bows out of twine from the Dollar Tree, and I just stacked those on top of each other and glued those right to our little pieces. So again, I'm going to put magnets on the back of these and use them on my refrigerator because I think that would be so adorable. But you could always put another piece of ribbon or jute through the holes on this and go ahead and hang them up. But I absolutely love how they turned out. Y'all let me know in the comments what you think. DIY number 5, and this is our last one. And this one, I'm going to bring you one of my favorite ones from last week's video. Use 3 canning caps with the insert, and you want to take that insert out, but go ahead and save that because you're going to need it. I'm going to take 3 different materials from the Dollar Tree, and on this blue and white check and a black and white check, I cut strips. On the other one you see there to the left, on that one I cut a notch at the top of the fabric and then just tore it, but that gave a lot of the frillies, a lot more than this did. So on the last 2, or this one and the black and white check, I decided to go ahead and cut because you don't get as many of the frillies in that. Sorry, that was a long explanation. But what I'm doing then is I'm taking one of the strips and I'm just going to start tying it around the canning ring, and I'm using 2 knots on this and then scooting them close together. It's kind of like a rag wreath, only you're using the canning jars. Out of each strip, I end up getting probably 2 pieces. Some of them I can get 3, and I just leave it the length that it is when I cut it, and then I just cut it as I tie it on. I used 1 bundle of this material for each, a little less than 1 bundle of the material on this blue and white check, and a little less than 1 bundle on the black and white check, and then about half the bundle on the other material. I hope that makes sense. But you're just going to continue tying all the way around the canning jars, 2 knots in each piece, and then scooting them close together, as close as you can, on all three of the canning jar lids. I hope that made sense. So I didn't want you to watch all of it, so now we're just down to our last couple of strips that we are going to go ahead and tie on. And once we get that finished and we have all 3 of our canning jar lids finished with the tying, I'm going to go through and kind of clean them up a little bit, just cut some of the frillies off. See, this one is the one that I just ripped, and it was a thinner material, so there was a lot of the little strings is what I should call them, not frilly stringies. After we get that finished, I'm going to take some of the leftover strips and I'm just going to glue them right in the middle of this insert of the canning jar lid. And I'm doing this because we're making flowers, and these are going to be the center of our flowers. And I kind of wanted it to be puffed up a little bit, but I didn't have any cotton or anything like that. So I just used some excess material that I had. Then we're going to take the thinner material and we're going to use this on one canning jar. And we're just folding it in half and gluing it together because it is very thin. This one is. And then I'm just going to start gluing it onto the insert of the canning jar lid. Now, I'm just doing this sort of like a present, really no rhyme or reason. Yeah, this is how I wrap presents too, y'all, so I'm not a very good wrapper. So we're just going to get this completely glued on there. On the other two inserts, we use black and white check ribbon with the material in the middle, and that's it. Now we're just going to take those centers and we're going to glue them right to the front of our canning jar rings. And here you can see I'm using the black and white, and I'm doing the same thing. And on that black and white check, again, we use I do two inserts the exact same way. Once we get that finished, which you're seeing me just go ahead and start wrapping this black and white. Once we get that finished, I get out my little saw that I love, and even though I'm home, I'm still using it. And I'm going to cut down some dowel rods. These are dowel rods from, I believe, Walmart, and I just cut them down to varying sizes. I do one will be the longest one, and then one a little shorter than that, and then one a little shorter than that, because I kind of want them to be staggered in my jar. Now that they're all cut down, we're going to go ahead and use some Apple Barrel Burnt Umber craft paint, and I'm going to paint all three of these dowel rods in that color. And I just give one good coat. It was perfect for what I needed it for, so one good coat worked perfectly. After we get them all finished and we get them dry, we're going to move on and to a glass jar, and I'm going to use some of this blue cotton Apple Barrel paint because I wanted just a little bit of pop of color. And I'm so glad that I did this, y'all. I painted the inside of the jar instead of the outside of the jar because I knew I wanted to add a rub-on transfer on this, and I thought it would definitely pull my paint up. After I did this, I will always paint the inside of the jar because I loved how this turned out. And again, just a little pop of color. Y'all know I'm not real colorful, but I wanted that little pop of blue to stand out. After we get all of the inside coated with just one coat, that's all it needed. Now I'm going to take this Farm Fresh Flowers rub-on transfer from the Dollar Tree, and we are going to put that right on there. Something I didn't show you is after I got all of that finished, I did go ahead and glue some buffalo check ribbon around the mouth of the jar because y'all know me, I love buffalo check. Now, you can always use any type of material for the flowers, any color paint for the jar, any kind of decal or rub-on transfer that you have. You don't have to make it exactly like I made it. This is just for inspiration. So, after we get that finished, now we're going to start attaching our stems to our flowers. The way I'm going to do this is I find what I want to be the bottom of the flower. I scoot some of those material pieces apart, put a lot of hot glue right in the middle, and glue my dowel rod right to that. After that has set up a little bit where I can move it, I go ahead and just reinforce with more hot glue all around the stem. And I'm just going to show you one more time. Again, scoot some of those apart to where you see the actual canning ring, and then put some hot glue, quite a bit of hot glue, glue your stem, and then go ahead and reinforce all around the outside of that with some more hot glue. And this is how it turned out. My flowers aren't the best. They are a little messy, but y'all, that jar, I absolutely love it. And y'all know that I like to be a little more rustic anyway, so the flowers don't bother me. I hope y'all enjoyed this. So here we are with our final reveal. Again, I love the 5 Under 5 challenge that we have every month. It is absolutely one of my favorites. I hope y'all have enjoyed this video and you've enjoyed these projects. Let me know in the comments below what you think about them. Don't forget to check out Emily and AnnaLee, and of course the amazing playlist with all of these wonderful talented crafters. Thanks so much for watching. Y'all come back now. You hear?